Thank you for joining, everyone. I'm going to leave this up on the screen so that you can see that we don't, it's not very long and it's not going to be drawn out. But this is 100% about service riders. Nobody nobody makes any money without a service rider. Riding something up, wrenches don't turn, cars don't get fixed. Nothing happens until you do something. So uh, this is all clutch for you. And so I wanted to bring the attention to you. It really is all about you today. And so we do recognize that. We love you. We appreciate what you do. And we work our tails off to make sure that you get leads. But once those leads get to you, we want to help those customers to close for the business owner, for all the employees, for the employees' families. I know that it sounds like a lot of pressure and stress, but everyone is counting on you. But at each point in the process, somebody else has the ball, and at that point, you have the ball. So I want to help you to be as successful as it possibly can. Okay, and they call it customer care in the business, but I refer to it more as caring for the customer. Uh, a lot of you that know us, the customer always comes first. And if it means that I have to stay up until midnight to get something done for them, I will. I will make sacrifices for our clients. If well, there are legends of other things that we've done for clients, but we will do anything that our client needs. For instance, we had Jeffrey that had purchased a second location, and it had been a couple months, and he just was too busy and had this and that going. And I said, Jeffrey, I'm coming. We're going to open that other location. And so I flew out to Warwick, Rhode Island, spent a week with him. We got that location going, and so if you have that kind of if you really care for your clients like that, then they will be true and faithful to you, even if your competition has a lower price than you do, if their billable per hour is lower, if they have better oil change pricing, whatever it may be, your customers will stay with you if they know that you care for them that much. It's important to realize that the customer pays for everything. They pay for your mortgages, they pay for your cars. And so when we make it all about your customers, then your business works well. And it's just part of the whole equation. And we focus on taking care of them, whatever their need may be. And if it's outside of your realm, for instance, if they just straight up need a new car, you need to tell them, hey, look, we can put a Band-Aid on this, but you need to start looking at maybe a new vehicle. This thing's got 300,000 miles on it. My F-150, my last one, had 300,000 miles on it. And I loved that truck, but one of our clients was looking at the truck and he goes, hey, you really need to start looking at a new vehicle. And it was right after 2020. And so, it was the right time to sell. And so it was the right thing for me. And I really appreciated him saying that. And so I sold it at that time. I took his advice and sold it. And so if you have advice like that, it will come back to you tenfold if you're just straight up taking care of the customer. What's right for them is really what's right for you as well. Keeping them safe. I had a neighbor that had squealing brakes, and I said, we need to get those taken care of right away. And I had to help him understand. We live in a mountainous area, and you can't have squeaking brakes in the mountains. That's a recipe for disaster. You're gonna have warped rotors, the whole nine yards. And so I told him that. Yes, he's my neighbor, but I cared about him. So I told him the severity of what he was dealing with, and he has three little kids. And so I just was very frank with him so that he'd get his brakes done. So um, also the answer is always yes. The customer comes to you. Absolutely. We work on drivetrains. Absolutely, we do this. And sometimes you have to do some more legwork to get them taken care of. But just take care of them. The answer is always yes. And so the customer visit, what does it look like? When the customer comes in, you greet them with a smile, and a lot of your marketing for a number of different shops that we have. It says free smiles. If you and they will call you on it if they come in and you're not smiling at them. It says free smiles on your on your marketing and you have to live up to that brand. Kim's on here right now. I know that when Kim greets someone, he always has a smile on his face. And you know, I love I just love that. So Gab's on here too. A lot of you know Gab. She always has a smile. And she is just so warm and inviting all the time. She's incredible. And that's part of our culture is that we always greet with a smile, regardless of what we're going through. We jump on, we have a smile, and if the client says we have a problem, we say, okay, it looks like we have an issue that we need to work through. We never say the word problem, but that's just part of our culture. Your clients, when they come in, they don't have problems either. They just have issues that they need to work through. And so if you have that as part of your culture, then it will resonate with your customers. When they come in, we smile at them, we build a relationship of trust. That's what BRT stands for in sales. And we test drive the vehicle. We pop it up on a lift and look for anything that's torn, worn, or frayed. So you're looking for swollen hoses, you're looking for worn belts, all that kind of fun stuff that you can bring up. You would have been looking at my friend's brakes, and you come back and you address all the needs. And I really like to talk about the severity or how important it is that we take care of something. So if a lot of our clients, Modern Auto's not on here, but they have a grade for brakes. They say, okay, it's green, it's this thick, it's yellow if it's this thick, it's red if it's this thick. And it just tells you how important it is that it be addressed this time. But if it's thicker, then you just say, okay, you can come in down the road. And that's part of what we're going to talk about today is coming back somewhere down the road, and you build up your clientele that way. You give your report of findings, you address all the needs, and you talk about what's next. For instance, I would say, okay, your brakes can wait 6 months. They're just fine. But today, this needs to be taken care of. You do need an oil change. Your oil is supposed to be this color. It's this color. It's not supposed to be that way. Let's get it taken care of. But and I also give them two prices. And AutoZone has gotten better at this. A lot of companies in the automotive space has gotten better at giving two prices. And so I will say we have OEM parts. That's for some of you that are new, those are original equipment manufacturer parts. And so if you're putting Ford parts in, it's going to be more expensive than another. And some of you push BG products, or you have a premium motor oil that you are talking about. I will tell them if it's branded. If you're putting in Quaker State, you need to tell them that it's Quaker State because it's a better product. And so I always give them two prices and say, or at least two prices. Here's a good, better, best. A better best is okay as well, but they do need at least two prices. This is your golden goose. So I don't know if anyone on here has heard the story of the golden goose, but basically, making a long story short, this individual, he finds this goose that lays eggs, and he's really happy with the eggs that it's laying. And one day he's spent too much, and so he cuts off the head of the golden goose to try to get all the eggs out because he needs them all today. And it killed the goose. There's no more eggs coming after he killed it. And so your customers are golden geese to you. They'll continue to take care of you so long as you take care of them. And so just take good care of them. Don't try to take all their gold at one time, but you can work through them and say, okay, we'll resolve concerns if they look concerned about a certain price and say, well, here's an alternative that might save you money, or this could limp along 6 more months before you take care of it. But you work with them, their finances, their circumstances, and you're just really on the same team to find a solution to an issue. So once they agree to repairs, or you've talked about repairs, I like to take them for a tour of the shop. And so, especially if you're proud of your shop, you just take them over, show them your $75,000 alignment rack, whatever it may be. If you have a diesel tech and you have a diesel customer, take them back and introduce them to the tech and say, hey, this tech has 15 years of diesel experience. He's the one that will take care of you. And then they'll see how clean his tools are and just let them know. Say, hey, if you have a clean toolbox, you're going to have a clean repair. And so I like to take them on tours. If you don't have the best looking shop or that's not a selling point, don't do that. So you can ask for your tech to come up front and meet them. That's also something that you can do, especially if it's a Land Rover and you're looking at a $15,000 repair for their air ride suspension. Those types of things, I would absolutely bring the tech up so that they could meet the tech and say, this is the tech that would be working on it. And they can help resolve any concerns or questions also. And communicate during your show and sell. Communication is everything. Our businesses are very similar. Our businesses, you communicate, communicate, communicate. And the majority of the negative one-star reviews you're going to get on Google is because you didn't communicate well enough. And so understand that if you're starting to see some of those one-star reviews come through, a lot of that is because of communication. Everyone's heard it. Steve quoted me $6,000 to fix my car. I went down the street and got it fixed for $1,000. We've all heard that, but what they're not saying is that Steve gave them a couple prices and told them that these were repairs that were being needed down the road, and that it really would be maybe 1,500 today, but they don't talk about that. But if you communicate, look, this is imperative, you get this taken care of today, this can wait, then that's just good salesmanship and you're taking care of your customer. But I continue to hint on this during the show and sell. When we review our repairs, we review all of our landmines, is what it's called in sales, and anything that could blow up. You address all the major concerns. And so if you have an impression that they don't have a lot of money, you address that. If they might need financing, just say, hey, we do offer financing. Don't say you look like a person that needs financing, obviously, but you can say, hey, we do offer financing in case that's a concern of yours. And you address all the different landmines. And so, like I say, if this vehicle is getting ready to sell, then you need to address it. And then during the repairs, while they're being done, send them pictures that the repairs are being done, especially if you're tearing down an engine. We were doing that at Rocky Mountain Auto the other day. So they were sending pictures of the engine torn down. They were, going through the lifters and the valves and such. And so they were taking pictures of it as it was going. And the client isn't as concerned if it takes one more day to get their vehicle fixed, as long as they get updates. There's a national pizza chain that if you order a pizza through them, it says Jose is putting your toppings on your pizza. And then it says, Chris, just put your pizza in the oven. It'll be done in 12 minutes. And as it goes, they communicate with you. And I really love that process. And then calling when it's finished. Texting is nice, but if you call them, it is a much better opportunity for you to build a relationship of trust with the client. Call them up, say, hey, it's done. Let's get you back on the road. And being honest is another. If you had quoted them a water pump and you didn't have to replace the water pump, please tell them we didn't have to replace that. And we're not going to charge you for that. So just be honest with them and everything. So sometimes it costs a little bit more because you had something unforeseen. But if you didn't have to replace something, please tell them that you didn't have to replace it. And let's see. And then you review all the repairs that you completed with them and just say, okay, this is what we did, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, and this is what the repair costs were. And this is imperative. When you get to this point, you're going to talk about warranties, because a lot of you will maybe have a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. You see down here, the early warranty inspection. This is one of your gold mines for the slow season. If you do this every day, you're not going to have slow seasons near as bad as what you do now. I promise you that. So I wish Modern Auto was on here today. because he was a new client last year. We trained his staff how to do this, and he has 20% more volume right now than he did last year at this time. So even in a down market, he has a down market that he's in, but he has a 20% up volume because his guys were selling early warranty inspections and these other two that I'm going to talk about. So if you have a 3-year 30,000 or 3-year 36,000 mile warranty, just say, Mr. Customer, you have a 3-year 36,000 mile warranty. Would you mind bringing it in at 2.5 years so that we can check it over? And if there are any issues, it's fixed on our dime instead of yours. And this particular client, he's looking at about a 90% close rate with this because you're looking out for the client. And you, as that appointment approaches, your system texts them and lets them know that they have that appointment coming up. And if they still don't respond, you need to call them and say, hey, we need to bring that in and make sure that it's still good. And that is just good customer service. It's responsible, but it is in their best interest. And so that is why they appreciate it so much. They're like, yeah, absolutely. So 1 out of 10, they'll say, I'm selling the vehicle. I really don't care, or some other extenuating circumstance. But a second one, if they didn't come in for an oil change today, they came in and got their brakes, say, look, you got about 3,000 miles left on your next oil change. Typically, it's about 3 more months that you've got. Can we set a return appointment for your oil change? Same thing, your system texts them. If they don't respond, then you call them and get them in for their next oil change. And one of the great ways to bring them back in for that one, some of you have door hangers and referral cards. And so you give them a positive experience. Say, we loved working with you. If you come back in, give us this card when you come back in. And here's a discount for 10% off your next services. Here's a discount on your next oil change. Some of you have those just sitting right there. It is a great opportunity to just give that to them and say, when you come back in, we want to hook you up with a good deal. It usually takes 3 good experiences for them to be your client forever. And so they came in, they got good service, and then you're teeing them up for a second good experience. And if the owner of the shop hasn't given you that opportunity, please have them reach out to us. We'll get those things in your hands. And so that next oil change is a great opportunity. If they came in and declined services and you said, hey, your brakes are probably going to be needing to be done in about a year or so. Do you want us to take a look at them in a year? You can set that return appointment. Some of you have state or local jurisdiction inspections. If you do emissions or safety inspections, those, like here in Utah, they come up once a year. And so you know exactly when it's coming back up and you say, hey, do you want to skip the line? We'll get you an appointment. And once again, you have a number of them that will say, yes, let's go ahead and skip the line. But those are 3 great opportunities to set return appointments. The one that I didn't talk about here is declined services. And if they have declined services, they say, no, I don't want to bring that back in 3 months for my next oil change. Or, I think that the baling wire is keeping my linkages together just fine. You can call them up, and after declined services, we're going to talk about that next week. But you can call them back and say, look, I know that you declined services. It's been bugging me that your transmission's on its last leg. If we knock 10% off, or if we eat 10% of the cost, would you bring it in and let's get you taken care of? So we're going to talk about that next week. But as far as a return appointment, those declined services can also be return appointments. But modern, this has been their biggest one, is their early warranty inspection. Right now, they're starting to reap the reward of their early warranty inspections coming back. So if you're typically slow this season, your summertime, if it was busy, that was your opportunity to build for your slow season. But you can even start building this up in the slow season. So don't book all these appointments in the time that you're busy. Book them in the time that you're going to be slow. And that is going to be a huge relief for you, because you're going to have commissions through the slow season. You're going to be busy through the slow season, and your techs are going to be happier. The owner of the company will be happier. And if you stick to that system, that is the key to the success of it all, is that you stick to that system. Like I say, I respect your trade. Nothing happens without the service writers writing service. Thank you for what you do. And so if you do have personal one-on-one questions you'd like to ask me, just go ahead and reach out to me. Samuel at 11group.com is my email address. All the owners of the companies have that email address and my personal cell phone, so you can reach out to me at any time. If there's something that doesn't make sense to you, or more importantly, that you disagree with, then please reach out to me. Other than that, we appreciate you. We appreciate what you do, and we're here. We've got you.